75% or so of people that are staying there that don't have documents, don't have the right to be in our country. You don't know who they are, where they stay, how they came here, what are they doing on a daily basis, and they're just roaming around our province. You don't have their documents, you don't have their records, we don't have their fingerprints, you don't even know who they are. It's extremely dangerous. They've managed to bypass the system, basically. We have to respond to this matter, or else we're going to really plunge our country into a serious disaster.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we unpack a disturbing but revealing interview between Clement Manyathela and Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi. This is further confirmation that our leadership is out of ideas, out of time, and completely out of touch. Lesufi admits to everything: the illegal foreigner crisis, the overburdened healthcare system, the lawlessness, and yet, like every ANC official before him, he offers zero concrete solutions. This is not leadership. This is surrender.
We had a conversation at the start of the show about what Operation Dudula has been doing, trying to block access to healthcare from particularly illegal immigrants. Is that a big concern for you?
It is.
As the Premier here in the province?
I'm of the strong view that we have either mismanaged or delayed to deal with the issue of undocumented citizens. And I don't think that we can resolve it by either closing clinics or chasing away and other things. We need to dive deep to the problems. How, as a country, we have to respond to this matter. And I don't think that we have put the necessary energy on this particular matter. It's a serious problem. And Gauteng, we are the bearers of these huge numbers, purely because of our economic position. So to think that we can resolve it by chasing people from either clinics or other areas, I don't think is a correct approach. That's an approach that it's a symptom. We have to dig deeper, dive deeper to this problem and attend to it. And as a province, we've identified it as a key problems because it affects our budget, it affects our planning, it affects our infrastructure. And unfortunately, also, in some instances, if not most instances, it has an element of crime as well. So we are the bearers of this unfortunate matter. So we are calling on national government and we are also calling on all law enforcement agencies. Let's find a mechanism to manage it. We are proud that the border management agency that has been established, at least it has started to put a dent there. We just have to deal with documentation, and we just have to deal with identification. We frown upon people that are in our country that we don't know who they are, where they stay, how they came here, what are they doing on a daily basis, and they're just roaming around our province. We really believe it's a situation that must not be tolerated nor encouraged, and we need to find an everlasting solution. Piecemeal solutions that are currently being deposited in the public space, I really believe that are not going to assist us.
And without a proper solution, we're looking at a ticking time bomb here.
It is.
I mean, the minister in the presidency just the other day spoke about the redacted national security strategy, which was warning that the uncontrolled movement of refugees and asylum seekers can trigger, among others, acts of terror. I mean, if we're not addressing this, we don't know what we're going to be dealing with in the future.
Indeed. It's a big problem. I mean, I went to one informal settlement in Swani. I've never, 75% or so of people that are staying there that don't have documents, don't have the right to be in our country, and they're there. And they've got what we call parallel government system. They run their own electricity system, their own water system, and they also run their own security system. And we can't tolerate that. I mean, if we're
how are they allowed to just set up homes like that?
Purely because, as I said, they've managed to bypass the system, basically. And that's the reason why they're in the country. And then that's the reason why they can offer those alternative services that need to be provided by government. So that is what I'm saying. If you are going to tackle it in that piecemeal attitude, I don't think we'll win. It is a problem, and all of us, I think, accept it is a problem, and all of us concurs. You can't have people that you don't know in our country. You can't even have people that You don't have their documents, you don't have their records, we don't have their fingerprints, you don't even know who they are roaming around. That's extremely dangerous. And I'm glad that National has characterized it in that particular fashion. But we need to move with speed to tackle it. Unfortunately, we have to take unpopular decisions. And we have to liaise with those that we believe that can assist us to work with, which is our neighboring countries and other institutions that they need to accept that it has reached a stage in which it can be managed through normal legal frameworks, that we need an extra abnormal approach to manage it and to deal with it and to resolve it finally. Or else we're going to really plunge our country into a serious disaster.
Clement starts by asking the right question. Is Operation Dudula's clinic activism concerning? Lesufi says yes, but not for the reasons you might think. He admits that South Africa has delayed action on undocumented migrants. He confesses that Gauteng bears the brunt of the crisis, but instead of supporting the action, he condemns Dudula. Why? Because it's not the correct approach. He says we need to dig deeper. But this man has been in office for how long? And he's only now identifying this as a key issue. He even admits that undocumented migrants affect the budget, infrastructure, planning and crime, and still he has no solutions. Let's be real, this interview exposes just how deeply compromised our state is. Lesufi admits that there are communities in Gauteng where 70% of residents are illegal foreigners. He describes how they run parallel governments, their own electricity, their own water, their own security. That's not just illegal, that's a complete collapse of state control. And here's the kicker. So you're the premier and yet you didn't know that entire neighborhoods have become no-go zones for South Africans. How is that possible? Isn't it your job to know what's happening in the province? Let's not forget, this informal settlement he's talking about is Marry Me in Tshwane, the same community where 6 South Africans were killed by illegal foreigners. That community is now being described as a foreign-run state within our borders. They steal electricity and water and govern the areas through criminal groups and illegal weapons. So Lesufi admits to all of this and yet still tells us not to support Operation Dudula. But here's the truth, at least they're doing something. Our communities are under siege and the only response we get from the government is more talk. Clement even points out how the national security strategy warned that this uncontrolled migration could lead to terrorism. Lesufi agrees. He says this is a ticking time bomb. He says this can't be managed through normal legal frameworks. But then again, nothing. No plan, no action, just more political waffle. This isn't surprising. The ANC is doing exactly what they have always done. Acknowledge the problem, pretend they care, and then do absolutely nothing. Lesufi has said the same things before. He always says, we'll engage national government, we'll talk to neighboring countries. But when has he ever came back with results? When has he ever came back with proof of action, with change? The truth is, they've lost control and they don't want to admit it. The ANC used to deny the illegal foreigner crisis entirely. Now they admit it exists, but they still try to discredit anyone who tries to act. Operation Dudula isn't perfect, but at least they're on the ground doing what the government refuses to do. And to all those people, especially in the media, who claim illegal immigration isn't the issue and that corruption is the real problem, listen, both are true. The ANC's corruption made the system fragile, but illegal immigration is making things worse. How can you deny that when entire communities of undocumented people are stealing power, water and services and killing anyone who stands in the way? Lesufi says they don't have documentation, no fingerprints, no addresses, no record of who they are, and somehow that doesn't scream national emergency to him. This is not just a governance failure, this is a sovereignty crisis. South Africa is on the edge, and our government's response is empty words, no action. The only thing keeping communities afloat are civic groups, grassroots movements, and everyday citizens who have become fed up. So no, we won't stop talking, we won't stop documenting, and we won't stop fighting for our country because no one else will. Watch the video on your left to see the Department of Health put the rights of illegal foreigners first. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Until next time.